Welcome to the Heal with Kelly podcast. I'm Kelly Noonan-Gorse, and every week I speak to the leading doctors, healers, spiritual teachers, and scientists to find out what is truly possible when it comes to healing. I also interview real people with extraordinary healing stories. My philosophy is, what's possible for one is possible for all. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful journey of remembering our divine nature and tapping into the truths that shall set us free. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Heal with Kelly podcast. Today is an exciting day because I get to hang out with my good friend, Vicky Vlachonis. Vicky is an amazing healer. She is an osteopath. She is the author of The Body Doesn't Lie, and she is the founder of Saint Supply, which everybody must try. It is the best olive oil you've ever tasted in your life, but it's not just your average olive oil. It's so much more. So we're going to get into that today. She's a visionary integrative health expert, celebrated for her holistic healing and pain management treatments, maternal health guidance, and the roadmaps she creates for mindful living. Athens-born and Los Angeles-based, Vicky has worked over the years with renowned physicians at clinics across the globe in order to hone her craft. She developed the positive feedback, a method for treating pain through the mind-body connection, and has devoted her career to unlocking the potential for human vitality. Vicky's clients, who have included Gwyneth Paltrow, that's why she was like one of the OG Goop contributors, Katy Perry, Chris Martin, and Sir Elton John, and me, Kelly Noonan-Gorse, trust her to help them achieve transformation of spirit and body alike. So, yes, so much to discuss today. I'm so excited. The body doesn't lie. Let's dive in.
Wow. Hi. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
20 years of integrative health and wellness.
And here we are. And you look at you. You're like the pillar of vitality yourself. Just got it back from Greece and sunbathing in your home country.
I know. Eating the beautiful food, that Mediterranean way of life. I mean, being an osteopath and a musculoskeletal specialist, I think it kind of gives you that, and obviously being born in Greece and understanding how food is medicine, understanding how I like to call myself a pain investigator, and I always want others to kind of listen to their body and understand the physical and emotional and spiritual well-being.
Yeah, become their own investigators. But sometimes we need help. How did you get into the work that you do? How did you become an osteopath?
So 20 years ago, studied in England. I got my master's in osteopathy. I spent a long time working at the Integrative Medical Center, at the birth company. So an osteopath takes a holistic approach to health and wellness.
Okay.
So you're kind of like a musculoskeletal specialist, but you want to take a holistic approach, an integrative way of understanding how people eat, how people move, what is happening in their body. You know, people come to you with maybe an acute overstrain, it might be some pain in their neck. So their primary care physician will send them to an osteopath and say, you need to check in with your body. So we take a full case history, we dive deep to understand what is the body trying to teach us. So we take a full case history, we go back to childhood, because sometimes the physical pain can be a signal that something emotional hasn't been resolved. So we talk about acute pain that could be overstraining your wrist, your ankle, falling, hurting your back, pulling a muscle. But when this pain becomes chronic, we need to take a deeper dive and not ignore the pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even when it's acute, it's like, you know, sometimes you're ignoring, you're running through life a million miles an hour, and then bam, you get a skiing injury because life, God, the universe, spirit, energy has been trying to whisper gentle messages to slow down, and you're not listening. So perhaps you get an injury that lays you out to do what the body is asking you for. Rest, right?
Exactly, and that's the reason behind The Body Doesn't Lie.
Yeah.
And again, I always say a big thank you. It's women uplifting women, and Gwyneth Paltrow wrote the foreword, and she was always like, okay, what is happening to my body? I need to know. And I was like, let's take a step back and look at the three steps: reflect, release, and radiate. So let's reflect what's causing pain to become our own pain investigator, to be able to release the pain. Again, we're talking physical and emotional here. So you need help to uncover the truth of what your body's trying to bring up to the surface.
Yeah. The body speaks in the language of symptoms like pain, fatigue, flare-ups, skin boils, whatever it is. This is your body's language. This is, symptoms of the body's language. And, I guess you've learned to interpret, speak body, right? Mm-hmm. How did you learn? I mean, I don't think it's something that a normal osteopath learns. Most of them are more physical.
Yeah, this is more hands-on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of manual touch therapy. There's a lot of muscle testing. But it's actually really listening to the patient's history, childhood. Because it could be a trauma that you weren't able to talk about. And now you're 30 or 40 years old. And until you speak and verbalize that there is a connection between that emotional pain that's manifesting physically now, and until you actually are able to feel safe to talk about, it could be a sexual trauma. We see a lot of anxiety, a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder. So you need a safe space, and you need a team of experts, and obviously the right person at the right time when you're ready to open your heart, your mind and body, and trust that healing is a journey. It's not easy, but we've got to shed something that's blocking us. So again, body gives you that signal. You might have a skiing accident and you're alive and grateful, but you're in that hospital, and then you've recovered, you've healed, you're home safe now. But the truth needs to come up. Is it that pain in the neck? Is the pain in the neck in your life? Or obviously if you're an orthopedic surgeon, you're safe to go home now.
Right.
But actually you found a place where pain awakens the truth, I say. Pain can be our most powerful teacher.
And we don't learn the lesson, it's going to come back louder and louder. So did you, I always love to find out, was it your upbringing? Like, what made you become passionate about helping people heal?
So I think, a big important part in my life is my mother. Both my parents. My dad's an amazing tennis coach, so it was always the sports of building these rituals of resilience, we will talk about later. But having that movement in my life, and then my mom teaching me yoga, meditation, a combination of Greek prayer, she was ahead of the game. And I'm very blessed. She planted that seed of positivity. She would come into my room and meditate with me and do visualization meditation, be like, Vicky, you're going to win that race tomorrow because you're the best. She would dry brush me in front of the mirror and say, now be kind to your body. Say kind words.
Wow.
Your brain's listening. Don't say that negative. So having that upbringing, that relationship with respecting your body, listening to your body, and looking at the 5 principles Hippocrates talked about.
A fellow Greek, right?
Food is medicine, and our father of medicine. And he looked at it from 5 pillars. You have to think of it as 5 pillars. Food, thoughts, movement, our environment, our home, our lifestyle, and rituals. So it's what relationship do we have with food? And this Mediterranean way of life is this food nurturing my body? Because we share food. We don't like to eat alone in front of our computer in Greece.
Yes.
We share and honor and nurture food that can help us heal. So if we want people to take a holistic approach, if they can't get to an osteopath, they can look at their relationship with food. And obviously I had the traditions and the values, and my grandma was an amazing cook and had her own, olive groves and her wine groves, and she was, loved to cook, and it was all about connection and inviting the neighbors and taking care of this community, this philotimo. Philanthropos is a Greek word, but philotimo, honoring your friend and taking care of them on all levels. And some people wouldn't go to a therapist. They would talk about their feelings. Come over. Let's have a coffee. Let's have a glass of red wine. I can see you're not feeling well. So being brought up in that world, and then obviously working with these amazing team of experts, psychologists, psychoanalysts, psychotherapists, psychiatrists, primary care physicians, UCLA's Digestive Diseases Division, and understanding this integrative health and digestive wellness, I think is the future. It's the way we have to look at longevity and wellness.
Yeah, but there's 5 pillars. So if you just are focused on the nutrition and the making sure the rigidity of getting that right, and spiritually, emotionally, or movement, you're sedentary. Like, we need all of the...
Yeah, you do something every day. I see on your Instagram. You're wakeboarding. You're like jumping in the ocean,
Yeah.
You're finding ways to move your body, eat healthy, but you're talking about your feelings. And I think the hardest thing is we've all felt pain in our shoulder, pain in our heart. But now digging deeper to understand that there is a mind, a body, and a soul, we have to connect the dots. Where it was fascinating as I was traveling the world and digging deeper into people's pains. There was a young girl who was in her 30s, and she came with paralysis in her hand. And it took years and years for her to be able to verbalize and tell us that there was some sexual abuse. And until she verbalized that, we were investigating MRIs, brain scans, neurologists, everything. Until she was able to verbalize it, her pain was able to open up.
Wow.
So that physical pain was there for years. And she didn't have a safe space. She was ashamed. She didn't want to talk about it. Healing is a journey, but it takes years. And I think we can't judge or, everybody will heal at their own time when they're ready.
Yes.
Physically, emotionally, and spiritually. But it's connecting the dots of the psychosomatic, psyche, soul, soma, body.
Right. And that's, all these mystery signals, like a paralyzed hand or a frozen shoulder or infertility, like anything that your body is trying to tell you. For our first, right now we're just so conditioned, like something is wrong with us, something is breaking down. And it's actually, if we can just, I think it'd be so powerful if we can just shift our perspective to, something is off, something is not aligned, perhaps in my environment, in my relationships, in the foods that I eat, my thoughts, my work. Yeah. So to start to go, our body doesn't lie. Our body's trying to help us get back on the pathway of alignment for our highest good. And, so for her, the minute that she was able to bring her trauma to the light, that freed up the energy, because the body was like, okay, that's all I was trying to do.
And it's that unconscious that's waiting. It's that, the wound is there.
Yeah.
And the pain is stuck in the wound.
And what have you seen? I mean, you've helped so many people. I know you're an osteopath, but I've known you as like acupuncture and cupping. And I know you've helped people move through cancer, because there's such an emotional root oftentimes to cancer as well. Have there been any like emotional patterns, maybe with sexual abuse, maybe with, have there been any emotional patterns that have cropped up with certain conditions, or just some ahas like that you might share, and even just like a recent or whatever story's popping into your head, because you've worked with so many people, that for listeners to, start to mirror or model onto their lives and go, and help them on the investigative process.
Yeah, because I think you might go to an acupuncturist, but they might, sit you in a room and they haven't got the time to listen to your story. So you have to find somebody, is it an acupuncturist, an osteopath, a primary care physician, to say, listen, this started when I was 6 years old, or like going back to the childhood, if it was an early trauma. I think it's important as you become your own pain investigator to start journaling maybe and writing down, when did this pain start? Because you might be going to an acupuncturist, but you haven't connected the dots. Yes, it's my right shoulder, but maybe at that point you haven't realized you're holding on to anger and fear, and you need to forgive yourself, and you need to forgive the person who hurt you, or you need to live your truth and realize this relationship doesn't work for me anymore. And some people end up in hospital, but we hopefully with talking about your emotions and your physical pain and connecting the dots is very important. So timing, knowing your family history, because really when you dig deeper, you decode and you release that pain, whatever it is, fear, anger, grief, whatever you've been holding on to. And sometimes you become a parent and realize, whoa, how did my parents do this? Oh my God, I've spent like 10 years being angry, not speaking to my, dad. And now I've become a parent and realize this is not easy. And now my body's talking to me. Mm-hmm. But it's that space. So I feel if you can connect the dots and listen to your body, so not ignore these signals, the symptoms, ask your acupuncturist, your osteopath to send you to a therapist, a psychoanalyst who's going to map it out for you, who's going to be able to help you release it. You can't hold on to the anger. It's going to build up. You can't hold on to the grief. You'll keep falling. You'll keep hurting yourself.
Yeah. I know people are going to be listening going, and I try everything. I kind of like go where the breadcrumbs are, and they led me to you. And I was like, oh my gosh, we've worked together for years, and sometimes you try someone and they're not helpful in your investigative journey, and sometimes it takes a few people to figure it out, you know what I mean? And I know that you're a big manifester and someone who believes in belief and prayer and asking for what you want and need, because I want to encourage people that healing is a journey, and sometimes you have to go to the wrong place to get to the right place, and it's not a straight line often, is what I'm trying to say. So the investigation, it's like a lifelong investigation, right? There's plenty of layers to continue peeling.
Yes, and shedding. And doing the work is hard.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to just keep going,
right,
and ignoring your pain, but it's going to keep coming back until you deal with the truth. And until you voice your truth, your body will still, that unconscious is going to try and bring it up to the surface.
Yeah.
So some people will get neck and jaw pain and start clenching their jaw, and some people will not be able to sleep at night. And some people trip and they fall and they're like, wait, do I feel comfortable in my home? Is this relationship serving me? Is this person lifting me up? Or they're pulling me down and my body feels uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And it's the autonomic nervous system. We have our sympathetic nervous system and our parasympathetic nervous system. So for how long are you going to be able to go into that? We need that fight and flight and freeze. But we have to take a step back and respect how we feel, talk about our feelings, talk about our thoughts, talk about having these rituals of resilience to get out of the pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pain is a good thing because it's there to remind you that something's not right. Something needs to change. Until we make the decision to change, nothing's going to work.
Yeah. And have you seen someone that's like been in pain for so many years and you've helped them unlock like the emotional root? Like, I just feel like a lot of,
Yeah, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stored pain. So, because some people might talk to a therapist and have done the psychoanalysis, but they haven't done the work on their body. But they might one day go to an integrative health and wellness expert who's going to say, well, this pain on your right side is connected to all this liver energy, for example. You're feeding your emotions, you're drinking, you're not there for your kids, you're not present, so you're not mindful of what's been going in your life. But we need a team of experts, and we need to we need to reach out for help. And if your primary care physician can help you, go to a psychoanalyst or a psychologist and not be ashamed to talk about your pain. Or if you could get somebody to help you through osteopathy, through acupuncture, cupping, but connect the dots, because somebody needs to explain to you that this pain is stored and there's a memory in your body. I had an interesting case in London where this beautiful girl calls me and she's like, I want to give birth next week. And I was like, okay. I worked at the birth company with an amazing OBGYN. And I was like, okay, let's see if your body's ready, No, I want to give birth on the 1st of December. Powerful, manifesting. This is my first son. And Dr. Gibbs was like, okay, let's go to her house. Let's do a treatment, check her out. And the fascinating thing is, we checked the alignment of her spine. He listened to the baby. And her husband walked in and he's like, I don't believe in all this cupping and realigning the spine and osteopathy and da-da-da-da-da. And I found a scar on her left side of her hip. And I started putting my hands on the scar. And she said, whoa. She started crying and she started feeling warm and safe. And she started telling us about her benign tumor that she had from a very young age. And she lost her mother. And that was the moment where her water started breaking. And she felt safe. And she was able to, her husband nearly missed the birth. We had to rush her to the hospital. But what I'm saying is, everybody's pain is different. So the pain in your neck could lead you to the fact that you're low in vitamin D, your thyroid has an issue, but actually you're not voicing your truth. That area, that part of your chakra, that part of your body is holding you back. And now the combination of the thyroid, the low vitamin D, feeling you trust your doctor to say, I'm actually unhappy in my marriage and my body's not feeling great. And I need to live my truth for me and my kids, and I need to empower myself because I know everything's going to be okay. So...
But do we know everything's going to be okay? How do we know everything's going to be okay? You are a spiritual person. You are Greek Orthodox, right? We talk about your father, your priest that's here. What's his name?
Yes, Papa Kostas.
Papa Kostas. Tell us, I love a spiritual conversation. And I'm always, I've had enough life experience where I know that life is always for us. The body is... even autoimmune is a signal. It's the body, it's not breaking down, it's not abandoning us. It's like it's always our greatest ally, but its signals are getting crossed and it's signaling to us that it needs support and coming back into homeostasis. So what are your spiritual beliefs and how do you, because I know you've been through a divorce, you've been through challenging times in your life. How do you know that everything's going to be okay?
Interesting conversation. I think when you trust, we all come from a place of fear, and we've been in uncomfortable situations, a death, a divorce, a change of home. We try our best in life to be there and to build that resilience and show our kids that no matter what, there's something bigger than us. So yes, my Greek religious Orthodox Christianity believes that the soul and the body are connected. You can't separate the soul, the psyche, and the body. And I'm going deeper and I'm creating a second book, which is going to be a deeper dive in that spiritual connection and transformation, metamorphosis, catharsis. So for me, my beliefs and my values, no matter what you believe in, being Greek Orthodox, Buddhist, there's something bigger than us. Mm-hmm. And that's what I teach my kids every day. You know, my younger son would say, okay, we're praying tonight, and how do you know God is watching? And I said, God is in our heart. We feel safe. We're doing something that's, you know, helping calm our nervous system. I think I've taken, the best of the Mediterranean way of life. There's a church everywhere you go in Greece. I was there this summer, and you walk into any neighborhood, any island, you light a candle, you smell the incense, you're just grateful. So it's a gratitude, it's a way of life to be grateful, to know that you can't live a lie and pretend. You need to live your truth, and everything's going to work out. So you go from that mindset of fear to that mindset of trust, knowing there's something bigger than us, guiding us, protecting us. And for me, it's worked. But you have to believe in it. You have to say it, believe it, and make it happen. So for me, I've had things happen to me, which have always, even though there's been pain, even though, I've traveled the world, I've seen people go through their cancers and go through so much pain. I think if you can interact and create a community where you have these values that guide you to make the right decision. So you respect your body, you respect others, you respect nature, you have this humility, and I think it's worked for me up till now. I feel blessed, I feel grateful, I feel everything just unfolds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the church, you're talking about the church in every corner in Greece, and that's still like the old way, right? And now I feel like a church, when I think of church, it's like a safe, beautiful space filled with, it's like there's a peace when you walk in. And our nervous systems have not evolved enough to keep up with this inundation of news and social media and just content of the digital virtual world, this like different type of connectivity that's actually very isolating. And so to create, air quotes, church, whether it's in your home, whether it's a ritual of going out into nature and feeling that peace, we need to have, rituals of resilience, and also moments where we can cultivate that feeling of safety every day. Because if we don't have a meditation practice or a prayer practice or a walk in nature practice or a go to church practice, if we don't insert ourselves into a space of peace and safety every day, like that's why we're so sick. I mean, there's obviously physical toxins in our environment and invisible toxins in our environment, and people are consuming way too much food like substances, not real food from the earth. But as you're talking, I'm just like, oh my gosh, the remedy is safety and peace. And we need to create that through, the Mediterranean way creates it through, community and sharing meals and having that coffee and talking to each other and connecting,
And the water, the sea,
Yeah, being in nature and being connected to nature through food and through environment, and simplicity of life. And, it's just a slower pace. So I just love that. And it just makes me go, oh, no, we actually really need rituals of peace and safety every day through, like prayer and meditation and nature.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm leading you into, what are your favorite rituals and tools for resilience, self-love, and healing?
So I wake up every morning and I have my shot of the high phenolic organic St. Supplies Living Elixir.
Ding!
And then I have some water with lemon. Then I'll do my prayers. I might dry brush in front of the mirror and give myself a positive pep talk.
I love that.
I might just walk my dog for a little bit and get grounded outside just walk on the grass and just look at the birds and the butterflies, and again be grateful for this day that I have that language. I talk to higher power. Mm-hmm. I talk to my...
It's ingrained in you at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful. I'm there. No matter what's going to happen today, I'm going to be stronger. And just realizing I have to move my body. So shall I play tennis? Do I have time to play tennis after I drop the kids to school? Do I want to lift weights to be stronger? Because in osteopathy, we believe structure governs function and motion leads to positive emotion. So I feel better. I've released, after an hour of tennis, I've released anything that was annoying me, that I was holding on to.
Yes, I feel the same way.
I jump into the ocean and I'm like, I feel the catharsis. I feel there's a cleanse. And I'm always listening to my body, respecting my body, but I might go for a hike. So every day I say to myself, what am I going to do today to help stay in that positive feedback? Move my body. And people will do 10,000 steps and say, you know, I've just done 20,000 steps and I haven't moved today, but I'm like, okay, you know, I'll go and do some yoga, my 5 Tibetan poses, combine it with a meditation, a prayer, pray for somebody that hurt me, just release that energy, put light all around me and be like, you know what? I feel better. And if I'm angry, I come back home and I'm exhausted, I'll do the Epsom salt bath. And while I'm in the water, I'll be like, I'll let go of this stress. It doesn't belong here. I don't want to hold on to it anymore. No, thank you.
I love it.
And I'll sleep better.
Yeah, we worked together during various dips and dives and valleys of my journey in the last 10 years, I think. And there's often been someone who's like attacking me or wronging me that I bring onto the table, and you're just like, okay, let's, you know, you're valid. Like
let's release the issues from your tissues.
Yes, it's a valid circumstance. It's the reality of what you're dealing with from your perception, but let's move through it. And I think like, you know, you go to the send the person wronging you light, wish them well, something you want, wish that for them. And I'm like, ugh, really? This person who did this thing to me? Like, ugh, they don't deserve that, you know, whatever. Like before I calm down, the acupuncture gets me into a peaceful state again. But truly, talk to me a little bit about this, like forgiveness practices, because it is so important and it does take practice, because at first you don't want it, but and you don't think these people deserve it. And, you know, this toxic person or this person did this. And then you're like, I don't know, just.
But you're hurting, yeah? You've got that right shoulder pain. You can't move your neck. Your body's freezing. Yeah. You're in fight or flight. So I'm there to calm down your nervous system. Let's get the blood flow moving. Everything's going to be okay because you're in that pain. Mm-hmm. It's acute pain. It might be clenching your jaw. It might be anything that's building up. Mm-hmm. So once you talk about it and connect the story with the pain, there's a symbolic release. That's where we talk about decoding the past, releasing everything that's stuck in that area. And then you have to do the work. But what are you going to do? Hold on to the anger and still be angry and be moody and your whole day's ruined, and then everybody around you is in a bad mood? You're like the bright light. You always want to uplift everybody. But at least you listen to your body, and then you connect it. You're like, you know, and sometimes you've had a long night or you ate the wrong food and that doesn't agree with you. You haven't been nurturing yourself. So, you know, for 20 years, I've spent so much time listening to people's stories, listening to their pain and helping them nurture through movement, through food, but connecting the dots.
Have you ever seen, I mean, I always feel like, has there ever been just a physical issue? Like, or do you always think there's like an emotional, spiritual, energetic root?
I mean, sometimes, you know, it's just an acute overstrain because you lifted too many weights. I mean, if it keeps happening and then it becomes chronic, the pain after 3 months. Yeah. You really want to take a moment to be like, what is happening in my life? I need to step back and look at my thoughts, my feelings. Am I unhappy at work? This doesn't serve me anymore. This is not my passion, my purpose. Mm-hmm. I'm not giving to others. I'm not at my best.
Yeah. Totally.
I mean, I want everybody to be empowered to respect their body, listen to their body, and know what they're putting into their bodies. Hence getting into Saint Supply, the living elixir, and understanding that we need to restore, we need to replenish, and we need to really find ways to heal through food.
Yeah. Well, this is where we brings us to Saint Supply, my favorite. You're you've worked obviously one-on-one with the people that I mentioned at the beginning, and then now you've pivoted to finding something that can be, I'll say it's like medicinal food, which is what Hippocrates said, the food has the power to heal. Let thy food be thy medicine and the medicine be thy food. And you've created this product, you come up with this product. It's an amazing, and you could talk about it a little bit, but it tastes delicious. It doesn't taste, it's peppery almost.
Yeah, and we'll take a shot.
And you take a shot every morning, and it's super anti-inflammatory. So it's basically like vitamins in a cup, right?
Yeah.
But explain to us what polyphenols are and why this is so much
So
more
when
potent.
I wanted to source a high phenolic organic drinking olive oil. And we all know olive oil is good for us, but not all olive oil is the same. And I wanted something that was backed by science and fully tested. So I teamed up with Dr. Fola May, gastroenterologist at UCLA, and Nancy Jaffe. And my brother and I sat for years testing different types of olive oil, both in Greece and both in the US. And we were kind of ahead of the game because we created a new category: high phenolic organic drinking oil that you take a shot. So we wanted to create this ritual, something you do every day that will work on all body parts. And the benefits are just amazing. There's so many human studies. And patients come and ask me, what can I do every day to stay in the positive, to feel better? And I said, the living elixir is going to do exactly that. From your brain, if I don't take the oil, my memory is not the same. So it helps improve your memory, even reduce cognitive decline. It helps lower your cholesterol, increase the good cholesterol, the HDL, and lower the total cholesterol. Even it helps reduce the risk of a heart attack. So these polyphenols, which we'll talk about, will also help reduce any constipation, help with the microbiome, but you'll even see a difference in your skin, your hair, and nails. So these polyphenols we're talking from the juice of a fruit, the juice of this rare variety of olives that we sourced in the Mediterranean in Greece. So these polyphenols act as antioxidant to protect our organs and cells from damage. Mm-hmm. But it's the ratio of testing the polyphenols, that's the difference with a cooking oil. You want to get high amounts of the oleocanthal, the oleacin, the hydroxytyrosol, because these polyphenols have been studied on humans to reduce the risk of cancer. They're anti-inflammatory, anti-breast cancer. So you've got something in your home that comes from the juice of these rare variety of olives. And we handpick them within 3 hours in juice. And we test. The milling process is spectacular. We have an agronomist, we have a sommelier of olive oil. This is the champagne of olive oil.
I love it. I love me some champagne.
Let's do a shot. And we painted this bottle black to protect the polyphenols. And it's quite hard to open this bottle, but to protect the polyphenols from the sun and the light.
Okay.
Sealed it with a nitrogen cap. And when we first tested it, we felt that peppery kick, and that's that stinging you feel in the back of your throat. So in the front of your throat, you'll feel the antioxidants, that bitterness. You're going to do a 15 ml or a 30?
Give me the 30. We're here. We're here. Oh, my gosh.
Let it
be
your ibuprofen for the day, your shot of longevity.
Oh, so should I take this if I have a headache? Like Advil? Yeah.
I tell you, this is how it started. My mum felt the difference with her skin, her hair, her nails, her headaches, her
Yeah.
bowels were moving.
I mean, it's a dream. But it also like tastes delicious. I'm not even joking. It's one of my favorite flavors in the world.
So
it's almost like
cheers.
you can't like go back to other olive oils after this.
I know.
But don't cook with it because you'll
Yes, you don't want to heat it. You want it pure. You could put it in your smoothie. Some people take it at night. It's something for your health and wellness and longevity.
Yeah, and it's delish.
Cheers to
Cheers.
polyphenols.
Cheers. Sanctify.
Yamas.
Yamas. It's so good, you guys. It's wild. I like love this flavor.
And now you'll feel the peppery kick.
Totally peppery.
So for some people tear.
Yeah, I'm tearing. I'm tearing.
It's good to cry.
Yeah, it helps you cry and release energy and emotion. That's awesome. So what, like, just being a founder is stressful. You know, you gave us your rituals, the beautiful, by the way, I wake up every morning just to add to this, hot water with lemon and a pinch of sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. And then I give Riley, my 5-year-old, a little cup because she's not going to slam a total amount, but she's part of the ritual, you know? Then I make my, I should take a shot of this. When I first did it, when you first came out with it, I got it like it was, my son
It was a lot. You did it. Were you running after or
I don't know.
were you moving
Yeah.
your body? Because
I mean,
you're
I have
so
a
active.
sensitive stomach. Like if I take a vitamin that has vitamin B on an empty stomach,
So it
I'm
hurts
like
you.
debilitated.
Yeah, so combine it with
Yeah.
food. You can pour it on your salad
Yeah.
or on
I
your
pour it
eggs.
everywhere. I pour it on
Yeah.
my like little Lebanese toast with za'atar.
Yeah, every day.
Delicious. But I'm going to have more now. But yeah, and then I have my Kion mold-free coffee blended with organic pressed coconut oil. And then movement, nature, walk the dog, all those things. Meditation.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good fat. It sits on your stomach, so you could follow it after your exercise. Do it after your exercise with your
Okay.
breakfast.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, your first meal and a big glass of water. Some people take it at night. They say it helps them sleep. It relaxes their nervous system.
that's a
It
good
coats
idea.
their throat.
Yeah, it's a good idea. But you know, one thing I haven't done, even though I love it so much and I've ordered many, many bottles, I've never taken it consistently. So now I'm going to, you said for us to get the benefit, we have to take it every day.
For human studies, that's what it shows. And the med diet's been studied for years.
Yeah.
So it's all the anti-inflammatory, as a holistic approach.
Yes.
Because you're very active. You move your body, you sleep well, you talk about your feelings, you get body work. You know, you do
Yeah.
take care and respect your body. But you know, there's no miracle. We have to do the work. We have to move. We have to eat our beautiful salads. We have to add our legumes and beans. And people live longer
Yeah.
because they're eating all these foods that come from Mother Earth,
Yeah.
you know?
The body doesn't lie. Is there anything about the book that people should know that if they're looking for, you said the positive feedback. What were those 3 things again?
So the body doesn't lie. The 3-step program is reflect, release, radiate.
Okay.
So reflect what's causing pain. Could it be the pain in your neck is due to the fact that you need to now go and check in your vitamin D, your minerals, check in with your doctor?
Your relationship, your environment.
Your relationship,
your
your work, your emotions. What is your body trying to teach you? So spend the time to really understand and become your own pain investigator as you reflect what's causing pain. And to be able to release it, you need to reach out for help. You could go to an osteopath. They could realign your spine, an acupuncturist, maybe some massage in that area of pain. And try to connect the dots with, while you're releasing, maybe having an Epsom salt bath every night to help you let go of the pain. Start moving your body, do some form of exercise to release that discomfort. Start meditating, visualization meditation. Do something that you're taking care of, that self-love, that self-care.
And it's like Psych K, EMDR, all these things to work with a therapist that can actually release the pattern that is
The
causing
trauma
the pain
and the
wound.
pain that's stuck in the wound.
Yeah.
Because we talk about the unconscious is trying to release that, decode and release that pain from the wounds.
Yeah.
And radiate. I mean, in radiate, and people will, we talked about divorce, we talked about living your truth, changing a job, and it's hard to make that decision to cut the cord with the people that are hurting you. But once you release First, you're aware what's caused it. Then you've released it, and now you're radiating inside and out. You're happy. Everybody feels that energy. Your kids, your family. You've gone through the pain. You've dealt with it. But actually, you've come the other way, the other side, and you've changed job. This is your passion. This is your purpose. This is what you're igniting, that empowerment that's been living in there and was just hidden.
Stuck. Stagnant, yeah. It's when you release, when you do the healing work, you feel lighter. You remove the blocks.
Yes.
And then, just like acupuncture, and then the energy flows, and then you're flowing, and then the chi's
And then you create.
And then you create. And when you're flowing, you're radiating.
Because people are like, what do you mean you release, or you're going through this divorce? And this might be your rebirth. This might be your truth.
Yeah.
What we can add is, as they could start journaling about their pain, writing down when their pain started, keeping that diary, and maybe going back to the diary, after a few months. There's no rush. As long as you start, I always say, one step in wellness, every day. Again, journaling, connecting the dots between, this is happening to my life. This pain is awakening the truth. Let's look at what happened, the patterns that we're trying to decode and release. If people can also do a forgiveness letter, that's something.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. I keep wanting to go back to forgiveness because it's such a doozy.
But again, it's another ritual of resilience. So you can write it out. You can talk about your feelings.
What is a forgiveness letter?
So
I think we all have a few that we probably need to write.
And sometimes what I say to somebody is, you could write to dear anger. You don't have to write to dear mom or dear sister or dear dad. Or you could go back to dear anger or dear grief or whatever the emotion you're dealing with, and connect the dots again with, it started when I was 6 years old and I felt uncomfortable. Dad did so and so, or my brother did this, and I still remember that feeling. And now I'm dealing with the same pain in my neck, or this car accident has happened, and I'm trying to discover that I haven't really forgiven the negative patterns from my childhood. So I need to forgive the patterns. I need to forgive myself for holding on to that space. Because again, going back to the Greek word for forgiveness, which is synchoro, which means I add space. So you have to let go of the anger, whatever that is, to bring in that love, to love yourself, forgive yourself, and then forgive others. Because there's no, I don't think if we don't forgive ourselves and others, there's no other way.
You don't create space for what we want to create.
And it might be, it's people, it's places, it's your home. You move into a home and you feel uncomfortable, it's not right for you, and then things happen. But if obviously the love is there with your family and your partner, you just have to
clear the home,
clear the energy, and forgive. And sometimes I say the body's it's like a home. There's some cracks in these walls and somebody lived there before, and now we have to look back to, what are these cracks? There's some cement and there's
and evict that old person out of there. No, I'm kidding. This is amazing. Well, thank you. I mean, we could talk forever about, rituals and the healing stories, I'm sure, and I'll have you back to talk about more healing stories. But where can people find you? Where can people order Saint Supply?
So saintsupply.com. They can follow us on Instagram, Saint Supply Co. Reach out to hello@saintsupply.com for any questions, and VickyVlachonis.com. If they have anything they'd love to know, I'm here to help.
Okay. Are you on Instagram, or do you
Yes.
Yeah. At Vicky Vlachonis?
Yes.
And at Saint Supply?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Both.
Amazing. Well, thank you. Kudos to you. I mean, healing people and healing the world through this living elixir. Thank you. I'm going to start taking it every day, and I'm going to come back, and you're not going to recognize me.
Yes, your beautiful skin's going to be brighter.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Heal with Kelly podcast. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for more empowering wisdom and inspiring healing stories. And make sure you hit the follow button on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss that one episode that holds the answer you've been searching for. Oh, and if you found this episode inspiring, please rate, review, and share Heal with Kelly so that we can grow our audience and reach more people. We truly appreciate it. Lots of love.